Donald Trump just ran out of the room, or he was holding a press event. He was asked if he wants to appoint a special counsel to look into the Epstein files and the Epstein list. He runs out and says, "I have nothing to do with it." Here, play this clip.
President Trump, would you consider appointing a special counsel to investigate the Jeffrey Epstein investigation?
I have nothing to do with it.
Wow, Donald Trump is really a cornered rat. Hey, Donald, you don't have anything to do with it. How about this? Here, play this clip. Oh, and by the way, you were the main purveyor and pusher of all things Epstein, despite the fact that you were his best friend, and Mar-a-Lago was literally used as a crime scene as the grounds for finding girls to sex traffic by Epstein, like Virginia Giuffre. Here's what you said when you were campaigning the first time. Here, play this clip.
Bill Clinton. Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
You raised the question of Jeffrey Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think he's got a problem. I mean,
what do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
Oh, but now you're out there saying that the Epstein list, the Epstein files, and Epstein's sex trafficking ring is a hoax perpetrated by the Democrats. That's what you're posting on social media, and you're telling all of your supporters that they are stupid people if they believe that the Epstein files and the Epstein sex trafficking ring is real, and you're saying focus on other things like the auto pen scandal. Did you know former President Biden used an auto pen? You use an auto pen. All former presidents use auto pens. Politicians sign a lot of stuff. That's the real big scandal. And then they tried to push that on Fox. Have you ever seen them so desperate? Here, play this clip.
Well, if you care about the Constitution and the rule of law, Trump is right. The auto pen is way more serious than Jeffrey Epstein, because you could have a series of aides here who seized the power of the presidency and used it for their own purposes. You can't have an aide exercising the constitutional power of pardon or the decision not to prosecute people. And so they could have committed forgery. They could have committed fraud. I expect the Justice Department has already opened an investigation, and they just don't want to say. So they're
okay, and folks, let me just remind you the earlier press conference that Donald Trump held, which I covered, where he said that his followers are stupid people and they're dumb. And if you believe that the Epstein sex trafficking ring is real, that it's all one massive hoax, he goes, it's a hoax, and stupid people, stupid Republicans believe what the Democrats are doing. It's like Russia, Russia, Russia. Here's what he said earlier in the day. Here, play this clip.
Mr. President, I know you want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your Attorney General told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen of that?
No, it's not the Attorney General. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city.
And by the way, as this account called This You points out, Trump retweeted stuff like this daily. And when Epstein died, here's what Trump retweeted. He goes, documents were unsealed yesterday revealing that top Democrats, including Bill Clinton, took private trips to Jeffrey Epstein's pedophilia island. You posted that when you were running. Died of suicide on 24/7 Suicide Watch. Yeah, right. How does that happen? Epstein had information on Bill Clinton, and now he's dead. I see hashtag Trump body count trending, but we know who did this. RT, if you're not surprised. By the way, one of the things we're learning as well, hat tip to the Miami Herald, they've done some great reporting on this, and Julie Gay Brown's done a great job on this as well, that those surveillance footage that we know 2 minutes and 53 seconds were manipulated and put on Adobe Premiere and like mashed together. Wired did that forensic analysis of the tapes, but it doesn't even seem to be directed at where Epstein's prison was. I think they just showed a random prison, because if you remember, the surveillance footage from Epstein's prison was actually destroyed or went missing when Trump was in office the first time. So we're not even sure if that was Epstein's prison that's on that surveillance footage. Now, Trump's supporters are pissed at Donald Trump. You have, for example, people like Jessica Reed Krause, who was there, and she was handed the Epstein binders back in February, the Phase 1 binders, when Trump said we're releasing the list. Had come over, right-wing influencers, hold up those Epstein binders, and we're going to give you more files. They gave old files to the influencers, and then that's when Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, said that she was going to release the files. They were on her desk. The list was on her desk. She said, this was our reporting right here, that Trump hosts a free Ghislaine Maxwell advocate at Mar-a-Lago, as well as she went to the White House and held the binders, and she just commented today on our reporting, guess I was 3 years ahead of the curve, LOL. She then looks at Donald Trump's post from earlier today, where Trump said the radical left Democrats have made up the Epstein hoax, and he says stupid Republicans have bought this bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. You're calling this bullshit. And then she goes, he's only making this disaster worse by the day. And here was the meeting or the conference, the press brief that Donald Trump ran away from after he signed this legislation about fentanyl, and he tries to make it, I mean, it's a bipartisan piece of legislation to try to, stop fentanyl from coming into the country. Now, that's something we could all get behind, right? This should be a non-partisan signing, but Donald Trump's like, this isn't an auto pen, right? This is my real signature. Here, play this clip.
And this is not an auto pen, right? That's for sure. That's great. Thank you very much.
Let's take a look at what these MAGA influencers are now saying. They are livid, and they see Donald Trump as incredibly weak. By the way, in the new YouGov poll, where Donald Trump is 17 points underwater, his net approval -17, a majority of Americans have also said that he is a very weak individual. That's how Americans feel about him. Tiffany Fong writes, gaslight us harder, daddy. Evan Kilgore writes, breaking. Trump just called everyone demanding answers on Jeffrey Epstein's list stupid and foolish. I'm absolutely disgusted. I will not support this anymore. I've been a loyal Trump supporter since 2016. I lost a job, friendships, been smeared online, doxxed, and pressed charges on people who've stalked and harassed me for supporting him. If Trump doesn't want my support because I care about the Epstein files, then I'm done. Bye. Riley Gaines. Was it stupid and foolish when he campaigned on releasing the files? Are Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Alina Habba foolish and stupid for peddling this for the past 6 months? Why on earth is he doing this? Trisha Hope goes, he just called supporters like me stupid who have spent 10 years standing with him through thick and thin. This is what he has to say. Well, maybe he is right, because I feel pretty dumb for standing with him for all those years, and I won't be doing it again. Hashtag Epstein cover-up. Then Audra Christian goes, I stopped 2 years ago when I realized he was selling his endorsement. I was absolutely heartbroken and jaded. I still voted for him again because our options were obvious. Really? But I can't follow him with this. It's wrong, and you're right that we need to watch who is just towing the line for him. There for the unity party of self-interest, not America. Mike Flynn. You don't get much more MAGA than Mike Flynn. He goes, I hesitated to write this, however, with the utmost respect and deference to you, for all you withstood at real Donald Trump. Few know it better than me what the deep state can do when they want to turn on a person. The Epstein affair is not about who killed him or if he committed suicide. Personally, I'm glad this known pedophile is dead, but neither is this a hoax. The issue goes beyond all that. There are millions of Americans who overwhelmingly voted for you to be our president, and we want you to be massively successful. No one more than me. Personally, I still have a target on my forehead. Beyond all that, our country is facing subversion. This is an ongoing undermining subversive. All we want at this stage is a modicum of trust to be re-established between our federal government and the people it is designed to serve. An element that is of great importance surrounding this Epstein affair is the fact that this man was a known pedophile, had a list of clients who represented the upper crust of society, and likely did untoward things to children on his island, in his homes, and in New Mexico, and maybe elsewhere. He was convicted of it. Victor Neves responds, I accept your terms, Mr. President. You don't want my support, it won't be given. I'm out. America goes, genuine question. Why would Hillary create a hoax that implicates her husband and best friends? And then Victor Neves goes, I will celebrate the actions I agree with, but I will not support the man after this last post. And wokeness goes, Trump is making the Epstein saga worse for himself every single time he talks or posts something on it. I genuinely don't get it. Go on some more comments as well. Like that. What else do we got? I'm tiresome. I'm all for being loyal in the weeks leading up to an election. Then there is no point in demanding anything. The game is on. You win or get nothing. After the election, you push. Trump is not my boss, says Cernovich. He is not General Patton. He was someone we pushed hard to get elected in 2016. Some went to jail. Everyone lost something. I have zero interest in Johnny-come-lately saying anything like they've ever did something other than jump on a bandwagon. Matt Walsh, big MAGA supporter, goes, so the issue is dumb and boring and doesn't matter, but also we need a special prosecutor to look into it. The messaging on this issue has just been god-awful, totally schizophrenic and incoherent. Yelling at me to stop talking about a subject is the number one way to make sure that I keep talking about the subject. Michael Flynn Jr. I can't stand being gaslit. Chief Trumpster, to be crystal clear, I supported Trump on day one. In 2016, I volunteered for Trump, door knocked for Trump. And when Trump won the election, I created this account and began to make pro-Trump videos and memes. Many other OG MAGA supporters want the files. Why is that a bad thing? Viva Frey, people lost friends in their support of Donald Trump. People were excommunicated from family in their support for Donald Trump. People lost jobs in their support of Donald Trump. People went to jail in support of Trump. Imagine how they must feel right now being told that if they continue talking about the Epstein story that Donald Trump himself brought up, Trump no longer wants their support. We're not beyond the event horizon damage yet, but this needs to be fixed ASAP. Riley Gaines, one more time. There is no line to walk when it comes to sex trafficking kids. Elon Musk, admit nothing, deny everything, make counterclaims, but it won't work this time. Sovereign brah. Americans are being taught in real time that Epstein handlers control the entire U.S. government. Joey Monorino, I'm starting to think Epstein isn't even dead. DC Drano, today is a great day to start releasing the Epstein files. Time to restore trust in the DOJ. Donald Trump also made this bizarre post about, I've been speaking to Coca-Cola about using real cane sugar in Coke in the United States, and they've agreed to do so. I'd like to thank all of those in the authority of Coca-Cola. This will be a very good move by them. You'll see, it's just better. To which people would respond, wow, cane sugar, these are Trump supporters. I've totally forgot about the Epstein files now. No one cares about Coca-Cola. Release the Epstein files. You see why Donald Trump's running, but he can't hide, even from his own supporters. By the way, as I've said before, if there was... There's one person who's on the Epstein files more than anybody so far. It's Donald Trump. It's on the flight logs, the deposition transcripts, the black book. He said Epstein's a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Mar-a-Lago was used as the location where girls would go to work like Virginia Giuffre, and then they would go to Epstein and be sex trafficked. We have all the data, the details, all out there. If you open up, it's right there in front of you. That's why he's running away. He's scared of this.